then it goes to the evening tune. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasakundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Bioluka Ladavamanam Paramishtamachan Tato Jupja Gopya Rudantamuhunetra Yugmamrichantam Paramvocha Yugmena Shatam Kanetram Muhuswaswakampa Shirekankakancha Stita Graivatamo Tadavakti Varam Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasakundalam Gokule Brajamanam Iritrikswali Labir Ananda Kunje Swagoshamni Majantam Akyapayantam Tadieshitageshu Bhaktirjitadvam Punaprematasam Shatavriti Vande Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasakundalam Gokule Prajamanam Padam Deva Moksham Namokshadvadimva Nachanya Vindeyam Varishadapya Idam Teva Punata Gopala Balam Salame Manasya Virasam Kimanya Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasakundalam Gokule Prajamanam Idam te mukam bojam avyakta nila Ritam kuntalai snigdharaktasya gopya Mushubintam bimbarakta dadame Manasya virasam alam lakshalabhe Namamishwaram sachidanandarupam Lasakundalam Gokule Prajamanam Namadeva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabhutuka Jalabdimagnam Kripajristi Vristati Dinambatanu Gyanishamamagya Akshijistya Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasakundalam Gokule Prajamanam Kuviratma Bhajo Anirutyayadvad Tvayamochito Bhakti Bhajo Krito Cha Tata Prema Bhaktim Swakame Prayacha Namokshe Gaho Misti Damo Tareha Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasakundalam Gokule Prajamanam Namaste Stu Damne Swaratipti Damne Twadyodarayata Vishwashwadamne Namoradikaye Twadiyapriyaye Namonantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Namoradikaye Twadiyapriyaye Namo Radhikaye Tvadiyapriyaye Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Damodara Radha Damodara Damodara Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Shri Radhe, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Giri Raja, Jaya Govardhana, Giri Raja, Jaya Govardhana. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo. Haribo. Uh-oh, no batteries? Hi.
I met Sadhu Maharaj 2005. 2005? Yes, I went to Vrindavan 2005 first time. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you've been on parikrama before, I imagine. You've been on parikrama before?
Yes.
Okay. Agyanam timirandasya Gyananjana salakaya Chaksurunmilitam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Laye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah Yang Pravrajantam Manupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Taruha Juhava Putre Ditanmayataya Taravo Benedas Taridayam Muni Manatosmi Bhaktya Vinay Aparada Lakshay Chaptasya Kamari Sharanam Vigyayara Tamnaya Mam Charanantike Angashamalim Chatabirabito Smeraha Soditashri Vidavaramane Panktya Mukti Shuktya Tadakim Kara Smeraha Samurali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Swapriya Charana Kinkari Kuru Prananatha Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimakabjara Salola Satapada Kapadatale Kritastitam Tambajami Rasikandra Shekara Sambadaya Dashane Trinam Bibo Prartaye Brajamahendra Nandana Vastu Moham Tabati Balava Chanmani Madiswari Priya. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Asto to the Sat Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Asto to the Sat Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj and Sri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. To our grandfather gurus, Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj and Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates and to all the assembled devotees and the assembled devotees Diksha Gurus, for my Shiksha Guru Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Ban Maharaj, and Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. So we've been living for the last 2 weeks in Gopinath Bhavan. And today we're going to shift. Did you know that? how do you say your name again? Huh? Chandler. Did you know that we were living in India for the last 2 weeks? Oh, good. And now we're shifting to Govardhan, and we're going to be staying there for the next 2 weeks until we return to Vrindavan. So I hope everybody is packed up. We're now piling onto the bus, and don't forget anything. You have a couple of more minutes. Okay, now we're leaving. Now Vasanti is our bus driver. She has lots of years of experience. And here we go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Okay, so we're on the way. It's a modern bus, but still is a very rocky road. So now we're on the way, and on the way to our temple, Giridhari Gaudiya Math. We're stopping here. There's a very sacred place of Paitagam. Paitagram. Gram means village, and Paita means none other than stomach. So Srila Gurudev says, we're hearing from him. First, we want to get off the bus, get down on the ground, roll in the dust, and put the dust on our head, eyelids, tongue, and heart. And we're sitting at Srila Gurudev's lotus feet, and he's personally speaking to us. There's a very beautiful lake here. And we will be doing Achman here. Did we arrive at the lake yet, Vasanti? So we're doing Achman here. That means that we take 3 or 4 zips of water in the sacred pond, and we say, Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Govindaya Namaha, Om Vishnave Namaha. And let's jump in for a minute, swim around, now come out, dry off. And we're ready to hear from Srila Gurudev. Because this is not a book. It's Srila Gurudev himself. It's all of our Guru Varga. It's all the associates of Radha and Krishna. And personally, all the holy places. The village of Paita is situated 2 miles north of Parasoli, where we'll be going in just a little bit. This place has special significance for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. When Krishna disappeared from the springtime ras just to have fun, the grief-stricken gopis began searching for him everywhere. He assumed, this was his fun, he assumed the 4-armed form at this place by adding 2 extra arms here. When the gopis saw him, they weren't so attracted, but they knew he was the Lord, so they offered their obeisances quickly, asked where Krishna is, and then ran off on their way to find Krishna. You'll find Lakshmi, as we heard when we went to Bailvan the other day. Lakshmi from Vaikuntha, she'll be she'll find herself attracted to Krishna and his Rasa Leela, but you'll never find the gopis becoming attracted to Lord Narayan. So they quickly hurried on their way. And Srimati Radhika was behind. You want to sit here, Ananga, so you have a better straight view? Okay. So, Srimati Radhika was later than the other gopis. So when she came, Krishna tried to keep out his 2 extra arms, but he couldn't. He couldn't hide himself from Srimati Radhika. And I think you might have heard from us previously that Srila Bharati Goswami Maharaj said that the gopis who were behind and following Srimati Radhika, they also saw that Krishna couldn't hide, and his 2 extra arms went into his stomach. What does that mean? What Srila Gurudev told me the first day that I met him in 1992, he said, you are pursuing Krishna, but you don't know that if you become a Paliyadasi of Srimati Radhika, means an unpaid maidservant, a Sulkadashinam, maidservant of Srimati Radhika, then Krishna will pursue you. Like sometimes he may fall at your feet and beg you that I know that Radhika is in Man, she doesn't want to see me, so I'm begging you, propitiating you to take me in. And then that Manjari will take Krishna by the hand, after getting permission from Srimati Radhika, take him into her kunj. So he then met with Srimati Radhika in his form as an ever-fresh youth, a coward boy. That was one time when he disappeared from that springtime ras. But later, he saw that Radhika was in man, or a sulky mood, loving anger, because she saw that Krishna is dancing with me, but he's also dancing with everybody else. And he's showing them the same love that he's showing me. So she left, and right in front of everybody else, Krishna left and followed her in search for her. So this is the difference between this, one of the differences between this springtime ras and the more famous in this world, Saradiya ras, or the autumn ras. Because in the autumn ras, Krishna left following Radhika in a very stealthy way, so nobody realized exactly when he left and why he left. But here, he didn't want to upset everybody by showing them right away that he was in pursuance of Srimati Radhika. But in the springtime ras, he just left following her right in front of everybody. So because he didn't have to hide from the other gopis, and he did it in full view, following Srimati Radhika, this ras, above the other ras, shows her superiority. When he met with her, he begged forgiveness from her and said, "Beloved, when I suddenly did not see you in the ras, I became aggrieved in separation from you and began searching for you. I'm only performing this ras for you. I have no other reason. So please never go into jealous anger again, which happened a zillion times after that. And don't ever leave me again, which happened a zillion times after that. And Krishna committed the same offense a zillion times after that. But it was always in a new way, and it was always ever fresh and blissful. Thus, the springtime ras is unique in that it establishes her superiority over the other gopis. The poet Sri Jayadev Goswami, who is the author of Sri Gita Govinda, has described this springtime ras in this book. In fact, practically the whole book is about the springtime ras. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though it's such a high book, such intimate pastimes, that you may go like that when you read it. Still, Gurudev wanted it and pushed for it, and when it finally was published, it was published just when Srila Gurudev was in Navadvip and presented to him. And then he held it up and made a big announcement how he wants everybody to read it. And he was so happy. Remember, Basanti? He was so happy when it was published. But why? It was because if people get a different Gita Govinda, and people around the world, devotees around the world, were getting more and more into these very high scriptures, they might get a wrong explanation and translation, and so they would be derailed and become sahajiyas. So he wanted to, especially the devotees in ISKCON, so he wanted to protect them and anyone by keeping the reader in the right line, in the strict Rupa Goswami line. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also cites this spring ras as the proof of Srimati Radhika's eminence. This subject has been described very sweetly in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think it's Adi Leela chapters. It's in a discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. Krishna has many beloveds. How many beloveds does he have?
Unlimited.
Practically unlimited. But Srimati Radhika is the crown jewel of them all, which is natural since all the other gopis are none but her various moods. Like I have different moods, and they're all in me. But when she has different moods, on one hand they're all in her, because she even sometimes exhibits a mood of submission, which Krishna doesn't like when it's coming from her. And so he'll do something to change that mood back to her left wing. What's the word? Vami, but what's the English word? Contrary mood. No. And this painting of Seva Kunj, it has millions of pastimes within it, but one of them is Krishna changing her mood back to her natural mood. So all her moods become one gopi. She is the embodiment of Mahabhav, which is the highest loving ecstasy. And she's the possessor of all good qualities to their highest limit. This is why Krishna was able to maintain his four-armed form before the other Sakis, but could not do so when Srimati Radhika came. Among the places of darshan in Paita are Narayan Sarovara, where Krishna took his Narayan form, Aimta Kadamba, Kir Sagara, which means the ocean of milk, and Balabhadra Kund. Okay, now let us bow down here, roll in the dust. As Gurudev said, don't think the dust here is dirty. Don't think the ground here is dirty. You get purified from so many past sins just by touching the dust to our head, heart, tongue, and eyelids. And now let's walk, because we're feeling very strong, having taken nice prasadam this morning, feeling very strong. Let's walk the 2 hours, 2 miles, 2 miles to Parasoli. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So, here we are at Parasoli village. We can do Achman here, take the dust on our head here, do Achman in this pond, jump in, swim around, get all the nectar that was that Krishna danced at. And let's also circumambulate this kund. It's a very, very big kund with, as you can see, a nice ghat, many, many steps. And Srila Gurudev would sit on the steps, and the devotees would sit on the steps as well and hear him tell this beautiful pastime. So it's a long walk around. We're going to do that a few times. And then have a seat and hear from him. Parasoli village lies about 1.25 miles southeast of Govardhan town, in the lowlands of Govardhan. During the Mughal reign, the Muslims changed the name of the village to Muhammadpur. This is the place of the spring Rasalila of Krishna and the beloved gopis. This Ras continued for an entire night of Brahma, but it seemed to be over in a few short moments. Why did it stay for a night of Brahma? How long is a night of Brahma? Is this
0.6 billion years.
I thought it was 4,300,000 years. So that's the length of his night. And how long is his day?
4.3 billion years.
Good. It's the same amount of time as his night. And he lives for 30 nights and days equal 1 month, 12 months equal a year, and he lives for 100 years. So we can imagine how many trillions of years that is. Sorry?
311 trillion.
How much? 311 trillion years. Thank you. It seemed to be over in a few moments because time there is not according to the watch, but it's according to the mood, which we also experience here. Like if somebody's really miserable about something and you can't sleep at night and you just keep looking at the clock, waiting for the night to be over, but it doesn't seem to ever end. So just like here, it's a perverted reflection, but it seems similar. So there, everything is by mood. It was a night that lasted 4,300,000 years, but it seemed to last only a few moments. Whatever is favorable for the mood at the moment, that's how long something takes. And the reason that it lasted so long is that the moon god, Soma, when he saw this rasa dance, he just became stunned and couldn't move. You know how the moon moves? Sun moves, the moon moves, and then it drops and the sun comes up. But the moon couldn't move, so it stayed staring for that long. And that's why this place, this lake, is called Chandra. Chandra means the moon, or the moon god. Sarovara means lake. And the moon was a full moon, Purnima moon. So it's called the Lake of the Moon. In the southwestern corner of the Sarovara is the Sringar temple, where Krishna personally decorated Srimati Radhika. Near the Sarovara, underneath a Chankara tree, is the sitting place of Sri Vallabhacharya. He belongs to the, here you see the 4 Sampradaya Acharyas, and Vyasadeva is in the middle. So he belongs to the Sampradaya of, I believe, Nimbaditya Acharya. So the bhajan kutir, or the hut where they do bhajan, and samadhi of Suradas, who's in the line of Vallabhacharya. Vallabhacharya has a son named Vittala, or Vittalacharya, and he's the one who wrote this beautiful poetry that we say every day. Kripayati yadi radha badita shesha badha. So he's contemporary with the son of Vallabhacharya. So Suradas was a blind poet. And just a little side note, back in 1969 or so, I did this painting of Narada Muni. The first painting that I did of Narada Muni was an attempt at a copy of a photo from a Hindi book that Prabhupada ripped out of the book, gave it to me, and I did the painting. For the most part, he liked it. But then when I did the painting again, because we were getting more and more temples, at that time I was in Boston, and I wanted to make it more realistic without considering the reason that Prabhupada gave me that particular painting, because it was in a good Indian Vedic mood. So I was staying at the Boston temple then. That was the second ISKCON temple. And I went to the library to find good paintings. I mentioned because I wanted it to look like the old master's work, so that people non-devotees would be attracted as well. And so I made Narada with muscles like you see in the Jesus Christ paintings, and I put him in some kind of a redwood forest of America. And so when Prabhupada saw that, he said, the first one you did was very nice, but this one looks like a meat eater. And I want him to have milk drinker beauty. And then what does this have to do with what we were talking about? So he had his servant Govindadasi send me that Indian Brijbasi print that you see in Loy Bazaar of young Krishna sitting there looking so cute. And he's listening to blind Suradas singing with his stringed instrument. He said, this is the style I want. So there's a collection of Suradas's poems called Sura Padavali. Although he was blind, he would compose poetry that described the different outfits of Sri Nathji, the deity that he would wear on the altar. So one day, on the order of Vittalacharya, the priest didn't dress Krishna in anything that day. Left him completely naked. And then Vittalacharya, when the priest opened the altar, Vittalacharya said, can you describe Krishna's dress today, Suradas? So Suradas remained silent for a few moments, but the priest insisted. So Suradas laughed loudly and proceeded to sing, Krishna is not dressed in anything today. He's completely naked. And that's in that Brijbhasha language. Aj Bai Hari Nangam Nanga. Nanga means a nothing. No clothes on his limbs. All present were stunned to hear this. So Suradas spent his last days. So why is he being discussed here? Because he has a bhajan kutir and samadhi right next to Chandra Sarovara. He spent his last days in Parasoli. One day, Vittalacharya, the son of Ballabhacharya, asked him, Suradas, what are you thinking right now? And Suradas composed his last song. Kanjan 9 Rup Rasa Mate, Ati Sai Charu Chapal Aniyare, Pal Pinyara Na Samate. Krishna's beautiful eyes are like Kanjana birds. Kanjana birds, you know? They're like wagtail birds, very restless. Full of ras, very restless, and slightly reddened due to intoxication. My life can no longer remain encaged in this body. Saying this, he left his body. With tearful eyes, Sri Vittalacharya said, the boat of Pushti Marg. Pushti Marg is the sampradaya that worships Krishna as a child. The boat of Pushti Marg has departed today. In the southeastern part of Padasholi is Sankarshan Kund, on whose bank is Sankarshan, Sri Baladevji. So now let's offer our obeisances here in the dust here. let's jump back on the bus and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And here we are at our temple, Sri Giridhari Gaudiya Mutt. Okay, so here we are. Let's run in. Radha Vinod Bihari Ji is here. Let's run in. Let's offer obeisances to Thakurji here. Thakurji is here, and Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami is here, and Giriraj Govardhan, Sheila is also here. And now let's circumambulate the deities 3 times around, from right to left. Gurudev did that I don't know how many times, hundreds. I mean 4 times, but hundreds of times. Hmm? Hmm? Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, Radha Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Santi and I were there when Gurudev installed the deities, and Manji was there, that's right. Huh? We did it together. And so I showed him, me and Manjari showed him Giriraj, and then I remembered that we had a pearl for his nose, and when I put the pearl on his nose, he said, "Very good." Remember? Okay, so we know what happened here. Krishna protected Braj by holding the enormous Govardhan hill on the little finger of his left hand for 7 days, thus shattering the pride of Indra. Giriraj has descended from Krishna's transcendental abode of Goloka Vrindavan. So that's where we are now. We're so lucky. We're at the foot of the hill that descended from Goloka Vrindavan. Wow, that's pretty amazing if you think about it. He came with secluded bowers, caves, pure lakes, all of that descended. Pure lakes and ponds, and various minerals like red ochre called gairika that are useful in the service of the divine couple. Giriraj Govardhan is non-different from Krishna in tattva. It's actually Krishna himself. Yet, he is considered to be Haridasa Bharya. There's Haridas, who's that? Maharaj Yudhisthira. And then that's plain Haridas. And then Haridasa Var means a great servant of Krishna. Who's that? Uddhav. And then Haridasa Varya means the best, the super greatest best. Servant of Krishna is Giriraj Govardhan. On one hand, it's stated that he is non-different from Krishna. At the same time, we hear from Srila Gurudev that he's also comes from the heart of Srimati Radhika, so that she can serve Krishna by giving him those caves and kunjas and lakes for their pastimes. That's why Giriraj is the best of servants, because he came from the heart of Srimati Radhika. And when Srila Gurudev was speaking in the West, about Guru, Guru Tattva, the principle of Sri Guru. He said that you can tell about the exaltation of Guru by who his Istadev is, who his worshipful deity is, and what his identity is. So even if someone is a Mahabhagavad and they can control all their senses, as described in Upadeshamrita, has total control of his senses, perfect character, he may not be the highest grade guru. Who's the highest grade guru? The guru that is a servant of Srimati Radhika. Not only servant, but is the heart of Srimati Radhika. I know you like this topic because your Guru Maharaj loves it and talks about it with you all the time, right? Okay. So Giriraj came with secluded bowers. In fact, the whole thing is Giriraj Govardhan. The lakes, the bowers, the ponds, the rivers. It's all Giriraj. So Giriraj even appears as the caves. I mean, the caves have stone. These caves are made of stone. Transcendental stone, but stone. And the reason is that Radha and Krishna wouldn't want to perform their intimate pastimes in front of another person. So Giriraj appears as a stone, the caves, so that Radha and Krishna can think that there's no one there. But actually, as we discussed yesterday, there are 8 sattvika bhabs, asta sattvika bhabs, and one of them is being stunned. So he looks like a stone, but that's because he's stunned. The gopis spoke of Giriraj as follows. So that's what happens every year with Srila Gurudev. After the parikrama, the devotees get their rooms, and then they go settle down, and then in the evening they go meet again with Srila Gurudev, and he has different devotees, including himself, speaking about Giriraj. How can we understand Giriraj? How can we understand the various ways and whys, WHYS, of Gurudev's, of Giriraj's appearance in this spot? So the gopis pray as follows. Oh, my friend, Saki, this Giriraj is the topmost among Sri Hari's servants and is absorbed in supreme bliss, being always touched by Balaram's and Krishna's lotus feet. Giriraj serves and satisfies Sri Krishna, Balaram, and the cowherd boys by providing them with water from his pure lakes and ponds, with lush grass, fruits, roots, and various minerals like gairika, this reddish mineral. I think that's what you use on your dhotis, right? Do you know? Yeah, because it's a very powerful herbal mineral that gives strength to those who wear that. Then we see there are many peacocks dancing around Govardhan. And now we're going to hear from Gurudev about how Giriraj appeared. And there are two different histories because there's something called Veda Kalpa, which means that in different kalpas or different days of Brahma, Giriraj may appear or things may happen in general in different ways. So according to the Adi Varaha Purana, during the advent of Sri Ramchandra, Ramchandra wanted to make a bridge across the, what ocean is that? Indian Ocean, from the bottom tip of India over to the island of Lanka, because that's where Ravana had stolen his wife, Sita, had brought her. So he made alliance with the monkeys headed by Hanuman, and they were building a bridge by getting large mountains, stones, and then putting them in the ocean to make a bridge. And then there was a point when Hanuman was carrying Giriraj. You see many pictures, Indian pictures of him flying. In fact, Manjari did an absolutely gorgeous drawing of Hanuman flying and holding Giriraj. It's really the most beautiful one I ever saw. I saw so many from India. And then all of a sudden there was an aerial voice that said, now and he had to uproot the hill too. It wasn't already just lying on the ground. He had to uproot it. So then all of a sudden there was an aerial voice saying, now all the rocks have been collected. Now the bridge is complete. We don't need any more. And that happened to be Krishna's desire and Govardhan's desire, because Hanuman was just going over Vrindavan at that time. So that's where he put Govardhan down. Hearing this, at first Govardhan seemed to be sad. But he said to Hanuman, you have deprived me of Lord Ramchandra's lotus feet. So Giriraj, Hanuman told him that, don't worry, in the future, the original form of the Lord, Sri Krishna, he will appear, and you will be able to serve him then. And then Giriraj became so happy. In the next Dwarpa Yuga, so many millions of years later. And it's said that every year Giriraj becomes smaller by one mustard seed size. And that is because of feeling separation from Krishna. He said, at that time, the demigod Indra will try to destroy Braj, Vrindavan, out of anger by sending thunderbolts to kill everybody and drown everybody in the rain that you couldn't see, couldn't tell what was a higher land or a lower land. And the rain was coming down as sharp as arrows and as thick as pillars. That's what's stated in the Krishna book. So at that time, in order to protect Vrindavan, Krishna will personally hold you up on the finger of his left hand, and that you will feel ecstasy by his touch. So Hanuman became very happy. Giriraj became very happy. And then Hanuman jumped. He's like, we jump during our parikrama. And we go far places. So Hanuman jumped and immediately arrived at the lotus feet of Lord Ram. So after narrating the whole incident to him, Lord Ram said, all the rocks have been assembled to build the bridge. They've all been delivered by the touch of my feet. But I shall fulfill the desires of Govardhan by holding him on my hand and touching him with my whole body. You know, Krishna rolls on Govardhan and plays with his friends, dances with the gopis, faints in separation from Radhika. I shall take birth in Dwapara Yuga. I shall take birth in the Yadu dynasty and make Govardhan famous as the best servant of Hari. I once asked Gurudev when we were on his Fiji tour, I said, why would Krishna decide to play on a mountain? Isn't it hard? Like, you have to go up this steep hill sometimes when you're playing. You get out of balance. And Gurudev said, you don't understand. Krishna could, in one step, he could come to the top of the mountain. Because that's the nature. It's not stuck like it is here. It's all spontaneous according to mood. And yeah, according to the desires of the particular pastimes. So, Govardhan would become famous as the best servant of Hari by herding the cows with Mai, because Ramchandra is speaking Mai, because he's non-different from Krishna. My sakas on his slopes, and by enjoying with my beloved gopis in his kunjas. So what scripture was that from? Who remembers? Adi Varaha Purana. Can you say that so you remember it? Adi Varaha Purana. What's your question?
Does that mean that the entire land will just change around them based on the mood?
Things can change around them based on the mood.
Cool.
It's like, I'm speaking. Or it's like when you're speaking. You're famous for changing the first half of your sentence 10 times before you finally reach the end of the sentence, correct?
Hey, I don't... Yeah.
You just did it on purpose. Yeah, so that's how anybody is. They may decide, like I'm saying something, nah, I don't want to say that. I want to say something else right now. I'll say that later. So, forgot why I said that. Right, so in the spiritual world, I can change things. Like you said, the land can change. But when I speak and there's a tape recorder or a camera, and once it's filmed or recorded, that's it. It's stuck there. So the material world is like that. It's just stuck, just controlled by the three modes. I remember before I met Prabhupada, when I was a teenager, I was in an elevator all by myself, and I was thinking, why can't I get out of this elevator? Why do I have to stay here till it reaches its floor? And my godbrother Guru Das, he once asked Prabhupada, so if I want to make a puri for Krishna, then will there immediately be a stove? And Prabhupada said, there may immediately be a puri. I mean, we can't understand it. We have to use mundane, mortal speech. So then there's another scripture. So that was the Adi Varaha Purana. And this is Garga Samhita. Garga Samhita relates the following history. Once, in the course of his wanderings, there was a sage called Palasta Rishi, and he reached Dronachala hill. Who is Dronachala? The father of Giriraj. All these mountains are people. The son of Dronachala, Govardhan, was very beautiful and fragrant. So Pulastya Rishi wanted that mountain, Govardhan, so that he could perform his bhajan in a very sweet way. It's full of luxuriant green trees and creepers. So he wanted to bring Giriraj to his place of residence, which was Kasi, where Lord Shiva is from. Because there was no such hill there on which he could peacefully perform his sadhan bhajan. He asked Dronachala to give his son Govardhan to him for this purpose. Dronachala could not refuse, as he feared being cursed. He was a very powerful rishi. So Govardhan agreed to go on one condition. If you ever put me down, I'm going to stay there. So Pulastya Rishi thought, no problem, I can keep him aloft on my hand. So on the way, because he had mystic powers, he didn't necessarily have the physical strength, but he had mystic powers to easily keep Giriraj afloat. But as they reached Raj on the way to Kashi, he had to go to the bathroom, and you know what that's like. Because Govardhan was thinking, I don't want to leave here. This is Braj. Krishna's coming. So Govardhan became so heavy. Well, this is a little different. Because he had to go to the bathroom, and Govardhan became very heavy at the same time. The sage could no longer carry him and was forced to put him down right there. So then he had to go to the bathroom, so he did. Then he bathed, and then he was ready to pick up Govardhan, but he couldn't. And after he bathed, he chanted his regular mantras, sung his prayers, ate, rested. Then, according to the condition, he tried to lift him again, but he couldn't. Remaining true to his word, Giriraj refused to move. With all of his strength, he tried, but he couldn't do it. Finally, because Dronachala was afraid to say no, because he didn't want to be cursed. But now he's cursing Giriraj. He said, you will diminish in size 1 mustard seed every day. I made a mistake and said year, but it's day. Govardhan happily accepted this because he knew about the coming descent of Krishna. Shyamasundar will perform various pastimes on me, and I shall be blessed. Nobody can do that like Govardhan. I can give Giriraj an orange, like we have our Shila of Giriraj. I can give him an orange, but I can't give him anything from my body. It's just an outside orange. Whereas Giriraj serves with his whole body, like the gopis. Only they, out of the different rasas, can serve with their whole body. Mother Yasoda can serve Krishna with her breast milk, but she can't serve just with her breast. So Giriraj does, in fact, diminish in size every day. But who can say whether it is due to the sage's curse or due to Giriraj's feelings of separation? So tomorrow we will go to various pastime places. Well, for the next week or so, we'll be going to the various pastime places on Govardhan. Get his mercy. Any questions or comments? Chandler, do you have any questions? Okay. Anybody else?
It seems like last night Krishna, as a child Damodar, he's always mischievous and.
Can you take the mic
Oh,
for the live stream?
It seems like Krishna as Damodar last night he's being mischievous and saying not lies, but he's telling his mother something that isn't. And then also today he said with Radhika, he's always saying something so that we have to like come closer in some way to get to figure him out. Is this his regular mood playing out sometimes, always?
Yeah, he has many different aspects of his nature, and part of that is tricky.
Yeah, it feels like it sometimes.
But our trickiness or lies or deceitfulness is condemnable, but his, because it's pure, is worshipful. For example, he steals butter from other gopis' houses, but he's not really stealing the butter and yogurt because everything already belongs to him. So what is he stealing? He's stealing the hearts of the householders where he goes to steal. And one evidence of this is the funny conversations that he has with them when they catch him red-handed. And then he makes them burst out laughing. Yesterday you heard the conversations with his mother, but another one with child Krishna's neighbors is that she said, "I've caught you red-handed with your hand in my butter pot." He said, "No, mother, actually my father gave me this calf for my birthday and the calf disappeared, so I'm just looking for my calf." And, "Oh really, your calf jumped into the pot?" So, "Yes, mother, look." And so Krishna pulled out a marble calf from the butter pot. And then she said, like Mother Yasoda said last night, she said, "Well, then how come you have butter on your mouth?" He said, "Well, the monkeys were stealing the butter, and I tried to stop them. And so they got angry and they put butter all over my mouth." But he didn't stop there. He did it with everybody. But that's worshipable. Like he danced with other men's wives. But that's worshipable because actually all the gopis are his spiritual energy, expansions of Radharani, who is his pleasure potency. She's his potency. And being expansions of her, they're all expansions of his pleasure potency. So they all belong to him. So once in Boston, Prabhupada was visiting in 1969, and in his darshan room he said, some Indians to me, when they're speaking to me, they criticize Krishna, that he's a debauchee. He dances with other men's wives. So Prabhupada said, so I told them, no, you are dancing with Krishna's wife. Everyone belongs to Krishna.
Jai, thank you.
Goa Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Kartik Brat Ki Jai. Niyam Seva Brat Ki Jai. Uja Brat Ki Jai. Ujeshwari, Kriyeswari, Makeswari, Sureswari. Shrimati Radhika Ki Jai. Goa Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Go Premanandi. And I think today is Gierno's birthday. Is today your birthday? Okay, so tonight we're going to have birthday blessings. Say different